Happy Friday. All right, so I wanted to talk about a couple of things. So I am really excited to be diving in. Hi, Tracy. Thanks for joining. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Yeah, Tracy. I am going to be talking today about something that is very, very important to me, which is about what is stopping you from starting your business. And so I'm really excited about this because it's something that is so close to my heart. And I love working with women to start their businesses. And so it's just such a good topic. Hi, thank you so much for coming in and joining. I wanted to really dive in with you guys and kind of address, let me know, do you already have a business? Are you planning on starting a business? Kind of what is the picture for you? And then if you ever have any questions or anything during this, let me know. Hey, everybody on YouTube that's watching as well. Tonight's topic is going to be, what are the 5 things that is stopping you from starting your business? And then at the end, I'm going to talk about my new coaching program, but I really want to address these 5 areas that might be stopping you from starting your business, or maybe you've started and you keep stopping and all of those different things. Hi, thank you for joining. So I'm actually, just in case you're on one platform versus the other, I'm on Instagram going live, and I'm also over on YouTube as well. So I'm going to be looking back and forth. Plus, I have my notes to make sure that I stay on topic, but I'm going to introduce myself. So I'm Tatiana, and I'm the owner of the Stationary Muse, and I also coach women as well to start their own product-based businesses, and I basically help women overcome the fear that they may be feeling, give them the tools to create and launch their businesses and grow them, especially to do what they love without feeling overwhelmed. Because what I've noticed is, just from working with women over this past year, one of the biggest things is overwhelm. Just not really sure where to start, where to get things printed, where to get things manufactured, how to make this and that. And so I'm not sure what kind of businesses you guys may or may not be interested in starting, but definitely let me know. Do you want to start a stationery business? Because that is my thing. I've had my stationery business now. It'll be 5 years in May of next year. And it has been such a journey. And so I actually started sharing my journey of my business, like behind the scenes and everything, on YouTube. And it has grown into this now business coaching amazingness. And so tonight, we're going to be talking about what may be some of the reasons why you are stopping yourself from starting your business, or if nothing else, why you aren't keeping it going, because it can be a little bit of both. And so also at the very end, I'm going to share with you guys about my new group coaching program called the Inspire Blueprint. And we're going to talk all about those details, and I'll answer any questions about that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and dive on into tonight's topic. And yeah, let's get to it. So again, feel free to ask me any questions if you have any. So the first thing that might be stopping you from starting your business or continuing to keep it going, building that momentum up, is you. A lot of times we are the roadblock that is stopping ourselves from wanting to continue on. It can be a lot of things. Clothing, and music. Oh, okay, hold on. Tell me a little bit about that. I have a music background, so I would love to hear more about the music, Tracy. And you guys over on YouTube, same thing. Let me know as well. But what kind of businesses you guys are starting. So you can really be your biggest roadblock because of mindset. Mindset is one of those crazy things that will make you feel like you failed. It'll make you feel like you can never do anything again. It'll make you feel like, okay, maybe I'm going to give you guys a perfect example from my past. I graduated from college and I had my degree in music business. I wanted to get into the industry, and time again, I didn't get the internship I wanted. I didn't get my dream job out of college. And so for a long time, I felt like because I didn't make it the way that I thought I was going to make it, I felt like I was a failure. Like I automatically labeled myself as this big failure. And so that stopped me from starting my stationery business for almost a year, because I felt like, okay, well, who am I? I couldn't even do the couple of things that I set out to do. What's going to make this any different? And that's a lot of times what happens with us. Fear sets in. Fear is one of those things that is just super crazy. And I love talking about it. I have like a whole free training on fear because I'm so passionate about it. And a lot of times it's what stops so many women. You have all of these amazing, brilliant ideas, but you just can't get past the fear. And all of that has to do with us internally. And so our inner voice is what stops us from being great a lot of times. And those negative feelings can come from, hi, thank you for joining. Those negative feelings, a lot of times they can come from the past. Let me get a sip of my water, y'all. And so basically my biggest suggestion for overcoming yourself, you have a stationary business. Hey, oh, I know who that is. Thank you for joining. But one of the biggest things I would suggest when it comes to your mindset and overcoming the fear is my 4-part fear model. It's very easy. You can do this on a piece of paper. It's really simple to overcome fear. You need to find the purpose, and the purpose is, what are you trying to do? So when you're thinking about the business you want to start, well, what is it? What is the reasoning for it? There's a reason it's placed on your heart. Is there a specific group of people you're trying to help? Is there a specific reason in your life that it's important to you to want to start this business? Really find the purpose of that. And then you want to erase the doubt that you may be feeling. So whether it may be your past mistakes that you may have felt in the past, maybe like if you're like me and maybe you failed before at something, maybe you feel like now, there's no way I'm going to be successful at this. List out all of those doubts and then back them up with the things that you've already done. Really erase the doubt. And so like I actually have people in that training, they will cross out all of the things that they are doubtful of at the end, because you're going to build yourself up with what you've already done. So you graduated from high school, if you graduated from college, if you had kids and you're still standing and you're making it and you're getting through toddler life like I am right now, at the end of the day, shoot, that's an accomplishment to be able to do those things and balance and be the woman for everybody. Those are all things that not everybody can do. And so that is the type of trophy you want to give yourself, and to really build yourself up to overcome those doubts that you're feeling. And so then the third part of that is to take the action. And so with that is just, what baby steps can you take? Even if you think of the first 3 things you can do to start your business, maybe that might have something to do with, okay, today I'm literally just going to do a Google search, and maybe I'm just going to find the instructions on how to register for my LLC in my state. Or maybe today I'm just going to sit down and maybe kind of just look at some logo ideas. Maybe I'm going to watch a motivational video. I'm not really feeling in it today, but let me just watch a motivational video to kind of get me encouraged. So those can be some baby steps to get you started. And then the last part of it is the R of the fear. I don't know if you guys saw I'm spelling fear. So FEA, and then R is to remember why you're starting. So I use this all the time. Again, I've mentioned I've been in business for almost 5 years now, and time again, I run into a roadblock. And so instead of me using that to be a reason to stop, because it can very easily be the case, I always like to remember why I started. So I go back to my why, which is serving women, to really help them to overcome whatever they're feeling, like what I'm doing right now, to overcome it, but also to really know that they can do anything they set their minds to. I've said that from day one. And then that continues to be my why of why I come back and continue my business. And so that is the fear model. And that is really what will start to help you to overcome the mindset that you need to, because entrepreneurship truly does require a mindset shift. So that is the first part of what is stopping you, and that is you. So I'm going to read a couple comments. So we have Germany. She said, I have an infertility miscarriage and trying to conceive business. Wow, that's deep. That's a really deep business. And that is something that is so special to the women that would be drawn to that. And it's such a just fragile topic. And I know for sure that is something that I'm almost like getting emotional thinking about it. But I know that is something that will continue to draw you to that, because those women need you. So that is so beautiful. I just started my business. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Natai. I just started my business. I do press-on nails, shirts, scrunchies. What are the ways I can get attention on my website besides social media? Okay. So you do a little bit of everything. Okay, I will definitely come back and answer that question for you. I will definitely come back and answer that question for you on what are some ways to get attention, because I have quite a few for you. So I'll come back. But the key, one of those things is definitely just telling your story. So I will put that out there now. Okay, and then why I failed. When I failed my project in 2015, I became scared and I couldn't repeat it. Okay, yeah. See, that's me too, because it's like, it's so hard to fail once and even fail. Like for me, I failed multiple times. So I was really just like, okay, what is even the point of continuing on, or trying to pursue something a little bit different or something that I'm envisioning when it seems like everything after everything is just continuing to feel like a failure. So I truly understand what you mean. It's do MNA. I understand what you mean by that. And I think the fear, just overcoming those things, really finding the purpose, erasing the doubt you may be feeling from that situation. Think about it, spin it. What are some of the positive things you have done already? So if you guys feel like you have failed before, again, what are some of those positive things you've already done? So that is all mindset. We could talk about mindset all night, but I'm going to move on to point number 2. And so point number 2 is overwhelm. That is another thing that might be stopping you from starting your business. And so there is so much information out there, you guys. Like I remember when I first started my business, and honestly, even back in 2015, when I was kind of starting to research, I felt like there wasn't enough, but it was still, the stuff that was out there was just so much. Like even just down to how to just start an Etsy shop. What's the right way to promote online? What's all of these different things? There's so many. Hi, thanks for joining. There's so many resources out there, which is amazing because there's so many experts and everyone is doing it their way. But a lot of times when you get caught up in everybody's journey and how they're doing it, it makes you confused. Like you have like 10,000 paths in front of you. So you're like, okay, well, what way am I supposed to go? This person is saying they do it like this. She's saying over here that she does it like this. What is really the right way to do it? And so that is where the overwhelm really sets in. You might have tried the DIY things before, and maybe in the past you noticed that it wasn't working. And so that's when you might have reached and start to look on like YouTube videos or read articles and different things like that. But all that it does is it wastes time. And it almost kind of gives you a reason to just make excuses, and to a certain extent, to just be like, ooh, well, I'll just kind of sit on. I'm not really sure exactly what's the best route. So I'll just continue to watch more videos that confuse me even more on the process. But what I really would suggest doing is to really simplify the sources. So instead of getting all of these bits and pieces of the process, really find someone that maybe really resonates with you really well. It could be me. It could be someone else online. I know when I started, I had my people that I really gravitated towards, and I found my key folks and I invested in what they had, or I really just studied their process. And that was the way that I decided to run my business. That was the way that I decided to learn. And then, of course, especially when the DIY process comes with a lot of learning and trial and error, like her Dazzling Creation said, trial and error can be overwhelming. It can. And that is where that overwhelm comes from. It's just from so many different things. You're trying so-and-so's process. You're trying this one and that one. And that is just dropping a little seed why my blueprint may be helpful for you. But I'll talk more about it at the end. So number 3 reason why you might be stopped from starting your business is inconsistency. I remember, so back over the summer, I did some interviews with women when I was first getting my business coaching off the ground and really trying to see like, okay, is this a good fit? Is this something I really should be doing? And I remember almost every single woman that I asked the question, I was like, what is one of your biggest struggles? Hi guys, thanks for joining. What is one of your biggest struggles? Oh, my husband is on here. He's Easy E on Instagram, if you guys are wondering. But I was like, what is your biggest struggles? And I swear to you guys, I think I interviewed maybe like 12 women. I think it was like 10 out of the 12 women said that inconsistency was their biggest thing. They don't know how to stay consistent. And that can be due to a lot of things, whether you may have children, you might have a really kind of demanding job. There's a lot of different things that lead to inconsistency. And inconsistency, in my definition, is just you start something and then you stop, and you might fall off for a couple of weeks, and then you're like, oh, let me go ahead and post something real quick, and then you stop. Or maybe you haven't started your business yet and you're really into it for like 2 weeks straight, and then all of a sudden you just kind of fall off. Maybe something happened and now your mood's not right, or maybe someone said something to you that maybe you didn't rub you the right way, and now you're kind of paused on what you want to do. There's a lot of things that cause that shift, the pause, the play, the pause, all of those things like that. And so what I have really found with inconsistency, a lot of times is because we're making excuses. And I know that I hate to be like kind of tough for a second, but I know for me, like sometimes if my husband is even still on here, like sometimes I might overdo it when it comes to being consistent because I want to make sure that I'm constantly showing up for my business. Success in your business is really showing up for yourself. And if you don't show up as a solopreneur and you're the person running the business, if you're not there, no one knows to support you. No one knows that you have a brand new planner you're selling. No one knows that you have this nice, beautiful opt-in that you worked on for them to sign up for your mailing list and you want them to join the mailing list and you posted it one time. And so you can't just expect that, things will just kind of appear. That's the hard work piece. That's the sacrifice piece. And it doesn't mean that you have to now like shut off all your friends, shut off all of your social activities, and literally your life is your business. It just means you have to kind of shift some of your priorities some of the time. And so for me, I don't really watch that many shows all like that. Like I have my moments where I'll sit down and I'm like a really big YouTube person. Like I do like shows here and there, but I'm a big YouTube person and YouTube is my thing that gets me off task very quickly. So I will be on YouTube. I'll look up, it'll be like 3 hours. I didn't watch people's vlogs. I didn't watch so-and-so running her business over here. Then I'm watching a music video. Then I'm watching somebody else put their packages together, ASMR. Next thing I know, it's like 3 hours later. I could have been working on my business. I'm watching somebody else make money. And so I had to really think like, okay, either I'm going to have to multitask and have things on in the background, or I'll just watch them later when I'm done. And so the more and more I really get into my business, the less those distractions bother me. And I know we all have those excuses. Well, I'm too busy. I have kids. I have a toddler. I'm here with her all day. And we find a way to make it work. Sometimes she might be on the screen a little bit more, and that doesn't necessarily that's not always the thing that I want for her. But at the same time, it doesn't make me a bad mom. It makes me a mom, if anything, that's trying to work hard to make better for her, So really try to put a spin on it. If it does have something tied to do with your children, if you have someone in your family that lives with you, we don't have any family here where I live in New Mexico. So it's just me and my husband. We rely on each other. So I don't have like my mom to pass her off to. But if you guys are lucky enough to have family, ask your mom or your sister or your best friend, like, hey, can I drop a little Timothy off for a couple hours? Let me, kind of just want to work on something this week. Just dedicate an hour or 2 or 3, however much you can, to your business each week. And that's how you'll start to see it grow. Sit down, plan out your content, sit down, plan out the design, find a designer to help you if you're not going to design it. Those are the things you can fill those spaces of consistency with. YouTube gets me off task too. Yes, that's my thing. YouTube, y'all, is like everything else can be on and I'll be like, okay, whatever. But YouTube is like an addiction. I don't know what it is. That's probably why I love being on here so much myself. Yep, that's happening to me all the time. People saying something which brings me down. Okay, and we're actually going to talk about that at the end. So stay tuned, Tam, because that's going to be for you. I admit not trying to do much stand-up. Oh, this is true. I admit that I did not try much and stand up for the last, but rather gave up and was frustrated. Okay, I'm not quite sure if I understand exactly what you mean, but I think that the biggest thing with that is to just continue going. And that even goes back into the inconsistency as well, because if you have a setback, like let's say you do a launch of something. This is a client that I worked with before, and she recently started her business. I mean, she didn't have anyone on social media yet because she just started. So in the beginning, it really takes a lot of time, even more so to really put in the work to constantly show up and get consistent. Like none of us can figure out these algorithms, like it's really hard to do that. So I think that that's just even part of the mindset shift to be like, okay, I have to consistently show up, even if no one purchased my brand new sticker kit that I released on Friday, or even if no one watched my Plan With Me video that I posted on YouTube, even if no one even if no one subscribed to my brand new subscription box this month, it's okay. I'm brand new at this and I have to continue to tell people why it's valuable. I need to continue to tell people why they need it. And so that's part of being consistent and showing up. And so my biggest piece for that, outside of just putting down the devices, putting down, social media, stop binging everything and stuff like that, is really to create that intentional time on your calendar. Once you've worked out your responsibilities and things like that, where, someone can help with kids. I know kids is a big thing. And especially now I understand having my own. Before I would be like, okay, you can figure it out. But now that I have one, it's such a different way of viewing it. And so I get it. But once you can work that out with someone and they understand what you're building, and if they care enough, they will definitely help you. And when you set aside that intentional time to work on your business, that is when you're going to start to really see the magic happen. But you can't think you're going to just sprinkle 10 minutes here and 5 minutes there on your business and think that it's going to be this like booming success, because that is just unfortunately not the way it works. I wish it was, because I would be on my computer a lot less. So yeah, so that is point number 3, in consistency. I feel like I was on that a while, but that one is such a big one. So I really wanted to make sure I touched on that. And so then number 4 is that you are scared to sell. And so this actually might really even help to answer the question that I think yes, Natai asked. I hope I'm saying your name right. So when it comes to how to post on social media and just get more overall exposure and things like that. So first of all, I'm not really big on selling either. Honestly, it's not my favorite thing to do. And I think that sometimes is even something that a lot of people feel like, oh, well, if I'm an entrepreneur, then I have to kind of be like sleazy a little bit. And I kind of got to push my products on people all of the time. But when you kind of just think of it in a different way, of instead of being like, okay, I'm trying to make someone purchase something from me, instead of you kind of flip it and you say, I'm giving someone a valuable, tangible thing that will benefit them, that will help them, it really changes your perspective on how you can do this. And so when you are not able to tie your product in, or I'm sorry, you want to be able to tie your product into the person versus thinking about how can I get them to purchase it. Think about them. They are a human being. Why would you want this product? Why did you want to start your business? What are the reasons that this can help someone outside of just you making some money? And so we all get into it for wanting to make money and income. But in order to have a business that stands the test of time, you have to give people the value. And that can come from really just knowing who your target audience is. That can come from really sitting down and figuring out, okay, what is my valuable story that I can tell that people can connect with? I remember when I started sharing my behind the scenes of my business on YouTube, which is kind of where my value piece came in. I started to really share the journey of growing a stationery business, kind of, by myself, like, this is what it is. This is how I'm doing it. And people really resonated with that. They really love to hear my story. They love to see the behind the scenes. They love to see me be vulnerable sometimes, not necessarily breaking down, crying, like, and sharing my deepest, darkest secrets, but vulnerable to the point where I'm like, okay, guys, I'm not 100% confident in this, but I'm putting it out there because I know someone else is feeling this way too about something that they may have. And I want to be able to help that person. And so that authenticity is what has allowed for me to build my audience and continue to grow and connect with women on a deeper level of something I never planned. And a lot of times it's not something that you may know overnight, like, okay, well, what is the valuable thing I'm going to give somebody? But just be yourself. And when you're yourself, it comes naturally. So that is really the biggest piece of advice with, if you are scared to sell, think of it as more so, okay, what value can I bring to people? And I think that is all for my part for that. And so then we're going to get into part number 5, but I do want to answer randomness designs questions. Will you save this? I do not have my notebook. Oh yeah, girl. Yeah, I'm going to save it. I remember I did a live earlier this week and I forgot to hit save. I was so upset, but I will definitely make sure I save this one for sure. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying this. So number 5 reason why you might not be starting your business or continuing to keep it going is other people. And I wanted to save this one for the end because a lot of times this is really huge for a lot of us. And I'm actually going to tell you guys, there is a client that I am working with currently, and she wanted to get into her business with a friend. And this friend is holding her back. The friend is kind of negative. She honestly is kind of not trying to be, but she almost to a certain extent is very disrespectful and just not really respecting what my client is trying to do, and it's really stopping her from blossoming, honestly. And so her friend, I'm sorry guys, my foot is falling asleep. Let me move my positions. But her friend is stopping her from the greatness. Her friend is kind of killing her vibe, because it's like she wants to do all of these things, but she feels like, oh, I don't want to be judged, or, oh, we're supposed to be doing it together, and all these different things. But her friend, like the friend that she has, this could be your mom. This could be your husband. This could be your best friend. It could be your child. It could be someone that it could be a coworker, anyone. It could be someone that you don't even know that is stopping you from starting your business. And so if you don't take anything else away from tonight, my biggest thing is that if you have something that is placed on your heart, and it's something that you think about, and it's something that you've been trying to do, and you notice that, okay, maybe these other steps that I mentioned, they may get in the way a little bit, but the biggest thing is like, ooh, I don't know what so-and-so is going to have to say, or I don't really want him or her to judge me. I really think that you should reevaluate, because you should never be living your life for someone else. Life is too short to allow someone else's opinion, to allow someone else's thought of you to stop you from your dreams and what you want to do, because you don't know what they are dealing with internally. Something that they might have dealt with in the past that they feel that is now rubbing off on you, and it's stopping, and they're trying to stop you from being great because they're still dealing with their past issues and things like that. And that may not always be the case. Some people don't realize that they're hating, they may not know, but it can really be a huge hinder when it comes to starting your business. And I know for me, when I think of like other people, the other side of that is when I look at other people's journey on social media. And so I think about like, okay, all these people are on here. I've been in business almost 5 years. Why don't I have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people on my YouTube page, or all of these different things? Like, there's so many things you can compare yourself to, looking at other people that are in the industry that you're trying to be in. But you have to remember that, first off, you have no idea what they've been through. You have no idea what point of their story they're in versus where you are. So you're on point A and you're looking at somebody that's on point L, and you're trying to compare. It's like they're on two different levels, but we don't realize that because we just see it and it's in our face, and we think like, oh my gosh, I need to be there today. I need to have tens of thousands of followers today. And it just doesn't work that way. And even to that point, followers really doesn't equal sales. I mean, there was, I do not remember her name, but I saw this article where there was an influencer, and I think she like sold some shirts or something. Or no, she didn't sell any shirts. She had released these shirts and no one bought it, y'all. And she has like millions, I think like 1 million or something followers. I'll have to try to find it, and I'll share with you guys on stories after. But she had all these followers and not one person bought the shirt. So that means nothing. Like, following means nothing. Seeing the things that people have and all that, we don't know how they got to that point. I recently shared my story of how I started my entrepreneurship journey and everything. I shared that recently on my YouTube channel. And the feedback I got, even in like messages and the comments, is like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you've been through all of that. I'm just like you. I can't believe it. And that's the biggest thing that a lot of people don't realize. The people that you're looking at are just like you, or they were just like you a year ago or 2 years ago. So you have to remember that what you see online is not always what it is. It's not the pretty picture. But I know that for me, it stopped me so many times. It's made me feel down on myself. My husband has had to be like, hey, knock it off. Like, get over yourself. Like, you're fine. You're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. Hey, Apollonia, how are you? Thank you for joining, girl. But yeah, online it's a blessing and a curse. I love being on here because I get a chance to connect with all of you guys. But at the same time, it can be very hard not to compare. It's just natural. It's human nature. So my biggest piece for that is to really just, again, go back to why you're doing something and to really stay in that lane. If you ever feel for a second that you are comparing yourself, that someone is making you feel less than who you are, or making you feel like, oh, well, maybe I should have this many followers, or how come I didn't get this many sales and things like that, then maybe you might need to mute that person for a little bit. You might need to unfollow them. You may need to remove them from your feed, because you want positive energy within this entrepreneurship journey, because it's not a journey for the weak. And I know all of you guys have it in you to be strong, but there are those little pieces of things, you want to call it the devil, you want to call it negativity, whatever it is, that will come and try to steal your joy. And so you have to just kind of intentionally remove those things out of your life so that you can stay on a path of doing everything that you need to do. Okay, so let me see what my questions are. So we got Natai. When I first tried starting a business, fake friends and family were the worst. They didn't support me. They were very negative about my products, and even months later began doing the same thing. Okay, so y'all, let me tell you a quick story. So I went natural. This is kind of off topic, but it's going to relate right back to you. So I went natural in 2011. Basically, if you're not sure what natural means, basically I stopped getting a relaxer on my hair, and I just decided to let my hair be natural in its natural state, in its curly state. And I had been getting a relaxer for pretty much my whole life. Well, not my whole life, obviously. I think my first relaxer, I was like 7. So it felt like my whole life, though, the whole, like the burning and all that stuff. So I had been getting that. And I've just, all of a sudden I was like, I'm gonna try to go natural. Everybody that I knew had something negative to say. My mom, my sister, my friends, my dad, everybody that I knew, my grandparents were all like, what the heck are you doing? Like, what? Why is everybody that I know pretty much natural? My mom, she never did, but literally everyone else went natural, y'all. Friends, my sister, my grandmother, my dad loves it. And I'm just like, so that is just such a testament to the fact that people will say whatever they want to say, but at the end of the day, they are secretly admiring you behind the scenes. And like you said, months later, they're going to be doing the exact same thing. So never let somebody deter you from what you want to do. If it's on your heart to do it, girl. Okay. Okay. So Her Dazzling Creation said, I do struggle with thinking ahead and not focusing on the current step I'm on. That is a big one. And I think the biggest thing I can say is anytime you feel yourself kind of veering off of that path, bring it back. So I know it can kind of be hard, but let's just say, for example, so like starting a business is really overwhelming. And that's why I'm going to talk about the group coaching too for you guys, if anyone is interested in that. But when you start a business, it's very broad and very big picture. So when I think of starting a business, I think of, oh my gosh, okay, I got to figure out what product I'm going to do. Oh, I got to start my business. I got to register my business. What do I do to be legal? How do I get my website started? Oh, wait, I need a logo. There's so many different things to think about when you think of, oh, I just want to start a business. It's like 2,000 steps versus one step. So my biggest piece of advice is to really pick a lane to stay in. Like if you're thinking about it in terms of like a week, okay, this week, the only thing I'm going to focus on is creating my logo. If you decide to create your logo, for example, or this week, the only thing I'm going to focus on is figuring out what printing company I want to work with for this product. If you do that and you literally write it down, if you have to put it on your alarm on your phone to remind you in the morning when you wake up, so that you can be constantly reminded of your focus for that time frame. And then when you start to veer off and you're thinking about like, oh my gosh, ooh, let me see what website I want. Be like, we're not there yet. And eventually it'll all come together. Even though it may feel like you're just focusing on that one thing, it will start to build the puzzle and you will be so much happier you did it in a strategic way versus trying to do everything at once and it falling apart. So that's my biggest piece I can really give to that. Family will be the first to say something. It's always harder to be a pioneer, but sorry guys, I'm covering the camera up. But once you do, the light will show and everyone else will follow. That is beautiful. And it's true. Everyone will follow because you are the light and you are clearly doing something positive. They may not understand it. They may not get it, but that doesn't mean that it's not for you. That's not like it's all of a sudden it's a sign like, oh shoot, my dad said that I should do it, so I should do it. No, not at all. Okay, let me see. Shipping is stressful. I know shipping is one of them things. It's a love-hate, but it could be worse. It could be worse. It's not too bad. This time around, I cut them off and had very supportive friends and found the confidence to start. That's beautiful. And that's another thing you have to do too. And that goes even back to just the first point of when I was saying if you have to cut off things that are stopping you from getting started, sometimes that has to happen. I think as we grow up, we have to figure out like, okay, what is causing me to pause? I always say this, to pause in my progression. And that is how you can do that, by cutting those negative things out of your life that are clearly not for you. Sometimes it can be kind of difficult. I find that as I get older, it's definitely not as difficult though, like at all. So yeah, that's a really, really good piece of advice. Okay, so I'm going to shift gears a little bit and tell you guys really quickly about my program. I'm so excited about it. So I have to just give you a backstory because I always have to keep it real. So I actually have had the idea to do this since about July. And I continued to put it off. I continued to talk myself out of it. And the next thing I know, I had put it off and I was like, okay, I'm going to say something in November. But I was getting ready to put it off again. And then finally, I was like, okay, what are you doing? So many people were asking about it because I kept mentioning it. I kept saying like, oh, I'm going to have a program soon and stuff like that. And people keep asking. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you talking yourself out of this? And it was honestly my inner critic telling me that, why do you think that this is going to, like, why do you think that this is a thing that you need to do? What's the whole point of this? Why can't you just stick to this one thing? Why do you need to do coaching? You know, why can't you just stay to what you're comfortable with and things like that? And so I had to really come out of that mindset shift for myself more recently, to just put it out there. So I'm literally putting this thing out there. I'm still putting it together and I'm still building it. And so we will, for those that do end up joining me for the program, we will be starting on January 1st because I'm putting this thing together and really creating it. I have the whole framework built out, but I want to make it amazing for you guys. So I'm going to tell you about it. So it's called the Inspire Blueprint. And it is my 6-week course and group coaching program. So basically you will have an actual course you can work through on your own in your own timing. And then we will actually get together weekly for a group coaching call, where we will just kind of basically go through the course material and then answer just any questions you have. So it's very similar to one-on-one. I do a lot of one-on-one as well, but it's with even more women, which I think is great because it gives you a chance to really connect with other people that are like-minded like you. I know one of the biggest things for me in entrepreneurship is I always feel like I don't have someone that relates to me. Like even my friends that I grew up with and I've known for years in college and high school, none of them are business owners and they just don't get it. They don't understand my mindset. They don't understand what I'm trying to do. And it's no fault to them, but that's just not what they're into. And so that was why I thought this group coaching thing would be so cool, because we can all connect. It's like having just a big group of friends that can all really be like, hey, I get you. I understand you. Hi guys, thanks for coming in. So that is what it's all about. And so throughout the 6 weeks, what I will help you do is to really tear down the fear that you are feeling. And that fear can be doubt. It can be negativity. It can be other people, all of the different things we talked about tonight, inconsistency of being, the fear of being inconsistent, all that stuff. And we're going to construct your business from the ground up using what I call the build method. I love my acronyms, y'all. So I have my whole little acronym thing, and we will pretty much defeat inconsistency. So any excuse you're going to give me, we're going to defeat it. We're going to combat it, and you will pretty much leave it to confidently be able to launch your business without all the overwhelm, without the confusion, without feeling like, okay, there's 10,000 ways for me to go. Which route do I take? Is this the right way? All of those things. So that is what the program is designed to do. I have tested this out. I did this training back in the spring. It was a way different type of format. It was like a 90-minute live training where I had some women get on. And basically what we did was I presented it to them in 90 minutes and they asked questions. So this is a lot more thought out, organized, and really in depth for you as well, which is really nice. And so pretty much by the end of it, you will have a step-by-step, easy to follow roadmap for you to create your product-based business. I want to stress product-based because I'm not a service-based coach, but products is really like my realm. And it doesn't necessarily have to even just be paper products, but, lifestyle, paper products, beauty, things like that. You'll be able to have an opportunity to ask me any questions you have. I'm someone that has been there and continues to be there day after day, and be able to get the answers that you're looking for in real time. And you'll also get a lot of resources that will help you to fill in the gaps of even just like the question I get asked all the time and time again, y'all, where do I get this printed? Where did you get this thing? Well, what printer do you use? Like all those questions, I literally give you a whole resource guide to all of those questions completely. You'll have actionable steps on how to get started from your fear all the way to the launching, basically. I love to call it fear to finish. I think that's just like such a nice little alliteration, but fear to finish. And then you'll have ways of being consistent, and so that you can continue to show up for your business no matter what. Because like I told you guys, one of the biggest keys to the success is showing up, because it's you're the solopreneur. So you have to show up for yourself, but also to give you the keys to show up even in seasons when you don't feel like it, which is also really important as well. And then the last piece is to really give you the confidence to share what you're creating and to put yourself out there, because a lot of times people will be like, okay, I want to start this business, but then they won't even announce the business. They won't even share it. And so one of the first things we actually do in the very first week is you will figure out your launch date and you're going to announce it, y'all. You're going to have to send me a picture with some proof that you shared it and announce like, okay, hey, I'm launching my business, or I'm launching this new thing. Like it's a big deal, because when you put it out there, it changes the game. When you announce that you're doing something, it really gives you this, like, I really call it, it's like an invisible accountability that like, oh, I'm really doing this thing. I like just told like 20 people, oh my God, this is happening. So it's just like a whole different feeling when you do that. So that is what it's all about. And so the program is, like I said, it's going to be 6 weeks. It's going to be 6 live group coaching calls. In addition, I'm also going to be sharing my handmade planner guide, which is something new that I'm creating, because I don't know if you guys may or may not have followed my stationery business. I share on YouTube, again, my behind the scenes journey. One of those things is my planner journey. And I launched my planner this year. This was something I've been wanting to do for the last 2 years now. I've told my story about how I tried to do it before, I failed, and then I was like, oh, I give up, that whole thing. But I literally give you the guide to creating your own planner here in the United States by hand, which is something a lot of people are surprisingly very interested in. I didn't think a lot of people had that kind of patience, but I share that as well. You'll also get my creatives toolbox, which a lot of my one-on-one clients know about this. It is full of my suppliers, where I get all my stuff, the equipment I use, the tools I use, and most importantly, the things that keep me motivated as far as like what podcasts I listen to and books and things, because again, it goes back to that mindset. And then you will also get a lot of my templates and files that I use as well to keep my business organized. So that is some of my spreadsheets. Trello, y'all know I talk about Trello all the time, and just different things to keep you organized, because just because you have the business started, it's like, okay, oh, now I got to actually keep it up. So those things are put in place to help you actually stay organized beyond the launch. So really quickly, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, okay. Is the coaching program to follow from the Netherlands. Okay, so let me get into it. Sorry. So yes, anyone can do this coaching program, and this is basically the way it works. So the reason that I am going to be pushing it out to start on January 1st, again, is for 2 reasons: because I'm making it great for you guys, and also because I want you to not have any distractions due to the holidays. But registration is open, and there are limited slots, and the price of the course is $979, or you can do 4 monthly payments of $250. So to me, I feel like that is pretty good. And the monthly payment plan, literally, it would start from the moment that you would sign up, and then it would be every month for 4 months. Or you can pay in full. If you pay in full, you will actually get an additional coaching session with just me and you. So it would be a one-on-one coaching session where we could really customize, discuss your business, and really talk about whatever you want to talk about under the sun, honestly. Oh, you just came across me on YouTube. Hey, girl. Yes, I've been working on a journal and keep running into roadblocks, but I'm not take those endpoints. Okay, so this might really, really be helpful for you, because it's designed to help anybody that's trying to start a business, create a product, but they just keep getting stuck. That is my biggest thing. If you keep feeling overwhelmed, that is my biggest thing. And so I really wanted to create something that was affordable for you guys, but also something that will give you enough accountability. I really was just going to create this as a course and just hand it to you and be like, okay, here you go. But to me, I didn't feel like that was enough, because I want to be able to be there to hold your hand and help you. if you don't have it within you to be like, okay, let me go and do this course. If somebody's not knocking on your door or, sending you a little email like, hey, I see you haven't made no progress, that's going to be me, because I want to hold you accountable and I want you to see it through. I want you to see it through for the investment, but also for yourself, so that you know that you have it within you to actually make this business a real thing. So that is pretty much the program. Again, like I mentioned, you guys will get a ton of things. You will get the full course. We will have 6 weekly coaching calls where we will all get on together. If you pay in full, you'll actually get an additional one with just me and you. And then on top of that, you get all of the bonuses and the extras, which I think my favorite one probably is going to be this handmade planner guide, because again, I didn't think a lot of people were interested in that, but it's definitely a thing. So that's going to be something really fun. But does anybody have any questions at all about the program, how it works? I can tell you guys a little bit more about the build method if you want. That kind of like what I've created it on. It's a little acronym for the word build, of how the 5 modules will work. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And the link is actually in the description on YouTube, so you guys can find it on there. And then for anyone on Instagram, the link is in my bio to go ahead and register now. I'm only trying to take about 7 to 10 people this time around, because I really want to keep it intimate. I don't want it to be too many people, because I want to be able to still give everybody the attention that they need and that they deserve. I may have missed it, but how long is the course or program? So it's 6 weeks. But what's really nice about it is, even though it's 6 weeks, you will have access to it forever as far as the course, on top of the fact that once you are you're part of the family. So you'll make the initial investment, but then you will be in it forever. So as long as I'm doing this course and doing the calls, you can come on the calls whenever you want, which is also just kind of like an added bonus that I don't even really have mentioned, but you can continue to show up even after the 6 weeks is over. And also, within that 6 weeks, you can also know that you don't have to make your business within that 6 weeks. It's just me giving you the coursework and us talking about it. But I really feel like it's more so going to be about 90 days when you can actually create the business. So I never want to rush anybody. I don't want to rush a good thing. So you'll get the framework on how to do it. And then from there, you will have the keys to be like, okay, now I know I have my structure. I know what I'm doing. I have my one path, my one lane that I'm on. And so then you can strategically plan out, and I'll show you how you'll strategically plan out from week to week what you're going to do up until your launch date that we will pretty much figure out at the beginning. So that is basically how it works. Does anyone else have any questions at all? Or does anyone want to get on and ask a question? I've never done that before, but if you want to get on, I can answer a question for you live if you request. I do want to answer the one question a little bit more in depth from earlier, and it was, what are the ways I can get attention to my website besides social media? So honestly, I'm going to keep it real. The biggest thing is an email list. And I know everyone has different opinions about an email list, but my thing is, if social media shut down today, Instagram, I don't even know what happened. The last week, I don't even recognize Instagram. They didn't put buttons in new places now. It's another new feature on there that I have to learn how to use. I'm still trying to figure out Reels. I feel like somebody's grandma trying to, figure it out. But my email list is really easy to figure out, because I can just, send them an email. So I would really say, try to push some of your efforts to building up your mailing list. Come up with a really nice opt-in that people will be interested in signing up for. And that kind of goes back to that value piece I talked about, which is something that we'll cover in the blueprint as well. That value piece is what you can use to help with creating, to build your email list if you don't have one already. And let me know if you do have one. But I think that's really, really important to build that up. It sounds like I need to sign up. Yeah, girl, what you waiting on? The link is in the bio. And I think you guys really will benefit from it. Again, I really wanted to make this valuable for you, and I'm really hoping that it will be. Let me see. Yes, buttons have moved. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm not the only one that noticed. I don't even think I hit update on Instagram, and all of a sudden I got on there, and I'm like, I'm just trying to do a stories. Like, why do I have to? I don't know. I felt like I had to go on a road trip to just figure out how to do my stories now. Okay, I'm new to planning and just thought about designing some stickers. Just found you yesterday. I think your mindset is great. This is awesome for those interested in the course. Thank you so much, Colette. Thank you so much for following along. That is always my biggest thing, is to just encourage you guys and just show you what I'm doing. That is like my biggest part of my journey. So thank you so much. But yeah, that is all I really have for you guys. So if no one has any other business related questions, again, email list. But yeah, if no one else has any other questions, I'll let you guys go. Again, the link is in my bio. It's in the description on YouTube if you guys are interested. If you have any questions at all outside of like after we get off and you're like, okay, wait, what did she say? When you click on the link, that page will take you to like a whole more like in depth on every single piece and part of the program. But you can also reach out to me and ask any questions as well. And you can just do that to hello@tatianamuse.com and I can answer anything for you guys. But yeah. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you so much for taking your time out on Friday with me to learn a little bit. Again, my biggest things, the takeaways, the 5 things stopping you from your business. Oh, wait, hold on, I have a question. If I choose to start a business, do I really have to use social media to market my business? I've been getting asked this question a lot lately. And I think that while, of course, I say to build up your email list, I do feel like social media is a very big component of building your business. Now, you can definitely do ads. That is definitely a thing. And I know people do it. But it's a lot more of an investment, and it is even more of a trial and error because you're really going to be putting in, so much money to invest and then trying to figure out like, okay, well, let's see how this ad does. Like, I've never done ads before. I think I maybe tried it once or twice in the very, very, very beginning. And I really didn't have a whole lot of background like I do now on how they work and all of that stuff. But if you want to do the ads route, you're really going to have to dive into that process of how to find the right audience, the lookalike audience, and all of those different things. I think it's super duper important. But I highly suggest, if there's a reason why you don't want to do social media, if it has something to do with any kind of like just mental block you might be feeling, like, okay, I don't really want to put myself out there or something like that, maybe just kind of think of why you're feeling that way, because social media can be so positive for your business. And I think it's something you really will benefit from if you do give it a chance. So maybe consider it. Just kind of try just one platform too. That's another thing. You don't have to feel like you need to be on all of the platforms. Just get good with one thing, you guys. It's another thing I tell people all the time. Don't feel like you need to make 20 products. Don't feel like you need to be on 10,000 social media networks. Just be on one, and that will be just fine. And you won't be overwhelmed either. I'd love to see a video on tips for juggling and managing business and mommy life. Oh yeah, I could definitely do a video on that. That's always something, because that's just my everyday. So I could definitely share that for you. That's a great video request. But all right, so I'm gonna let you guys go. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I hope that you guys, oh, I got another question. Okay, I'm sorry. I love answering questions, so I don't want to just leave off of here. But what are the best tips to launch a product? Like, if there's the most important things to tell someone in regards to launch day for them to do, what would it be? Okay, that's a good question. So I will just say, I got like my full launch plan within the blueprint, within the Inspire Blueprint program. So I do have to just say that, but I will give you some tips quickly on here because it would take me a while to explain. But if I had to really say what the biggest things are, first, I would say you really want to make sure that you educate your audience. You want to let them know what exactly this thing is that you are offering. You want to let them know why they need it. You want to let them know what it's made with, all of those different features, but even more so how it can benefit them. That's so important. And you want to also share the process leading up to the launch. That is one of the biggest pieces of success that I've found in my launches, is that, okay, when I share the process, when I show how I'm creating things, even if it's just me sped up, just packaging something up, people love to see that. I don't know if it's because they're nosy. I don't know what it is, but they love to see it. And I love to share that because it really just lets them feel like they're part of my business. It builds community, and it really just overall creates this connection with your customers. So you want to bring them along on the process. And that's all part of just bringing them along on your story as you are creating something. And I feel like those two things, just really giving them all the information they need and sharing your story, sharing the process, those are the things that I have found to be probably two of the most things that helps with a successful launch. But y'all, you definitely will want to dive into the launch area within the blueprint, because it really does dive into launching. I go through my actual whole process of how you can plug and play your exact launch in there for 4 weeks. It's a 4-week launch. That's another thing I would say. You never want to do a launch that's less than 2 weeks when you're first starting out. I feel like as you grow, you can kind of just toss things out there and people will be like, oh, shoot, I got to go get it. But in the beginning, it's really like, okay, you really need to prime people to get them ready for what you have to offer. You can't just kind of like drop it and be like, hey, y'all, I got something new. So there's a whole strategy behind it. And I really walk you through it step by step, so that by the end of it, you will master launching. I created an acronym for the launching. The acronym is EVOLVE, and it's really, really good. So I hope that answered your question, though, to help you with launching, because it's definitely something you consistently do over and over again in your business. Hey, Jaleesa. Yes, Wildly notices social media helps you build your community. Yes. That is the thing. It's like people say, like your tribe, your community, your people, like that is social media. And that's why I know a lot of people ask me that, though, of like, do I need social media to build a business? And I mean, honestly, I don't want to just say yes, because I feel like you can build a successful business without it. But just in this day and age, I don't know why you wouldn't want to connect with not saying that that's your case, Ebony, for asking, but I don't know why you wouldn't want to connect with your people. It's like, that's almost like your way of being face to face with them. And it's so important. Will your program work with someone that already launched their business? Launch day is Sunday for me. Oh my God. The program will help with you, because if you are feeling like maybe there were some bits and pieces that, it's in poor connection on something. Instagram people, let me know if you guys can still see and hear me. It said I had poor connection for a second, but yes, it is going to help you as well, because it will get you back to that beginning framework. So if for some reason, maybe you missed the piece about like really figuring out who your target audience is, maybe your launch didn't go so well, we can really go back to the beginning and figure out, and not saying that yours will. I hope it goes amazing. I hope you sell out. I want to say that, first of all, everybody, wish her luck. But if anything happens, or even if you just feel a little bit unsure of exactly the direction you're going with your business, if you need a little bit of clarity, if you want to have just a really nice plan in place of how to launch consistently over and over again, if you want to know what type of content to plan and how to keep your business organized, I help you beyond just the beginning starting. I also help you with the upkeep and things like that as well. So most definitely, it is designed to help you as well. So yes, definitely, definitely. I'm late, but thank you. Well, thank you for getting on. But that's pretty much all I have. I think I've said that like 20 times, but I am actually going to go. I don't even know how long I've been on here, honestly. I've been on here almost an hour. What the? Y'all, this is the longest I've been on live by myself. That's crazy. And I'm actually really enjoying talking to you guys. So it wasn't bad at all. I always tell people, like, I hate going live, but I'm trying to put myself out there more, come out of my shell. And I really do feel like the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. It's like you almost just have to kind of put yourself out there. Like, I really didn't even want to hit go live before I got on here. And then I just did it. I was like, just do it. And then before I knew it, I was on and talking. So that's another piece. Just try it. Just put yourself out there. But all right, guys, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you all have an amazing weekend. I'm excited because I have talked my husband into letting us put up our Christmas decorations. Don't come for me if you're one of those people that are after Thanksgiving decorator, okay? I've waited a while, but I'm really ready to put up my decorations. And I think I'm more so excited because I want to see Emery, my daughter's reaction to just like all of the decorations and everything like that. Oh, Ebony said, the reason I asked the question is because I'm overusing social media, just using my personal. So curious why I should use it to market my business. Okay. So yeah, I understand. Girl, I'm over social media too. I always say if I didn't have a business, nobody would see me. And that is just the honest truth, because social media can be draining. So I get it. But yes, I do think it is a huge piece of the puzzle when it comes to business success, for sure. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.